guys, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing the review of the Ipsy box. This is the Ipsy Glam Bag Plus. So this is the upgraded subscription from their usual $10 subscription. You get the pink foil pack that's got the bag in it with smaller trial size items, and this one is a $25 box, and you get it in an actual box, and you don't always get the little bags that come inside of them. I think you get that like every 3 months or so, and the items are all full size. Okay, so here is the theme of the month, and it's called Bare Yourself, and I am just going to go through the list of products the way they appear on the card. Now really quickly, just in case my face color and stuff is looking a little off, it's not your screen or anything. Because of one of the products in the box that we're going to be talking about, my color is way off, and soon you'll see why. Anywho, let's jump right in and get started. The very first one we have are the f.a.r.a.h brushes 5-piece eye perfection set, valued at $48. So these are the brushes you get here. You get this slim tapered eyeshadow brush here, and then you get like this angled, I don't know if this is supposed to be like a concealer brush, but it's an angled brush. And then you get a fluffy but tapered large size shadow brush or buffing brush, and then you get another one that is not tapered. It looks tapered because it was flat in the packaging, but this one's actually rounded, you could tell from the ferrule. And then you get a smaller precision one that's more for inner corner work. I like the brush set. They are all super incredibly soft. I used them to do the eye look today with something else that came in the box. These are really soft brushes. I like the way they all performed. I was a little almost afraid maybe, or a little hesitant to use the bigger ones, because I find that I have a smaller space to work with, because I have like half lidded eyes that are getting more and more lidded every day. Lidded? What? Whatever. Heavy lidded, half lidded, hooded. Lidded. Hooded eyes. Half lidded eyes. What? Half hooded eyes that get a little more hooded as time goes on. So I was thinking that those might be too big to work with. They actually worked out really well. All the brushes did really. This one I would like to use to do a cut crease, which I couldn't get to do today, so I didn't really get the full performance of this one. Overall, really good brushes. However, for $48, I feel like that's really on the steep side, because that's almost $50 for these brushes. And that would be about $10 a brush, because you've got 5 brushes here. So that's just very steep for me, because I have a lot of really good brushes, especially some from like Wet n Wild that are some of my absolute favorite brushes, and they're not that expensive. So I feel like you can really get great quality brushes for much more affordable prices. So about $48, basically $50 is just really steep for me, although I really love the brushes. So that is more or less up to you. Can you afford it? Will it work for you? Absolutely, go for it, because they are great brushes. If it's steep for you, then definitely find something at the drugstore. Moving on from there is the Tarte Dream Big Eyeshadow Palette, valued at $30. So this is what it, I'm so sorry, I'm trying not to blind you guys. This is what it looks like here. Inside you have a really great mirror. This is like a crystal clear good size mirror for a palette this small, and here's what the colors look like inside. Very neutral, and this is what I used to do the eye look today. I was going for a very soft neutral look, and then all of a sudden it just kind of whoosh, just once I applied some of that black, oh boy, that was much more saturated than I thought it was going to be. And I'm not entirely sure it's black. It might be just a very glittery super dark purple. The matte colors all blended beautifully, and in conjunction with those brushes, like they just went on seamlessly. They blended in together beautifully. These two colors here, which is, what are they called? Happening and All In. These two center colors, I tried with one of the brushes. They hardly show up at all, so I took my fingers, brushed them in there, and then just patted them where I wanted, and actually used my fingers to blend as well. And then I went in with that angled brush, and I took a little bit of this first on the inner corner, and then I went over it with this one, just to kind of get that gradient effect. So this is actually really good. The quality is there. Oh, the only thing I did notice is that once I had laid down those two darker shades, like that Happening, Tried to go over it with the detail brush and the chocolate brown because I wanted to kind of blend it into the corners. I noticed it lifting up that shimmery shade. So they don't stick very well, the shimmery shades. So that's when I decided to go over it with that black, glittery black. So that was one thing that I noticed, so make note of that. Otherwise, if you just pat them down and use them alone without going over it with the other shade, it'll stick. But I do like this, and for $30, usually I'm so conflicted on this one because I feel like Milani has some great ones that are about this size, which you can get for like $14.98 in Walmart or off the Walmart website, and or off the Milani website. I'm all over the place today. But I find that this was actually really good quality. It smells incredible, smells like cocoa. So I was definitely surprised by that, and I feel like Risk Taker could even be a highlight on your face if you want. So $30 is also not the worst I've ever seen from Tarte, so I'm kind of surprised by that. So this is also one of those, like, if you can afford it and Tarte is your thing, go for it. If not, Milani has some great ones at the drugstore that you can get for about 15 bucks, which will match the colors in there as well. So that's, you know, definitely a toss because the quality is there. It is really, really there. Okay, now finally up to the product that kind of turned me into a ghost, and you will be seeing that very, very soon when I put it up in one of these corners here. It Cosmetics Bye Bye Foundation Full Coverage Moisturizer in medium, valued at $39.50. Usually mediums are about the colors that would match me, natural beige, medium, things like that. I think it's the SPF in here because it says it's got SPF 50, and everybody knows that SPF usually has a white base that kind of comes through whenever you try to mix it with makeup, especially if you take flash photography. Woo! That made this look white. I mean, that just like... It looks kind of beigey and fine, and then you start to... So my whole face, again, it'll be somewhere around here, looked white as a ghost. I pretty much had to set my face with bronzer today to get any color back into my face. So if I look a little more on the reddish brown side, that's what it's from. I had to essentially set my whole face with bronzer just to bring some life and color back. You can smell the SPF, but it's not overwhelming. It's not too strong. It was lightweight, but it sat on the skin more than a moisturizer would. So even though they call it Bye Bye Foundation and it's a tinted moisturizer, it sat on the face like any foundation would, but it's much more lightweight and comfortable. Like right now that it's finally dried down completely, I don't feel like I feel anything on my face, which is great. It definitely just... No, there's no... Well, I did set my face with a bronzer too. I was going to say there's no tackiness. So it doesn't absorb exactly the way a moisturizer would, but there was something that was definitely noticeably a thicker consistency than a moisturizer. I wouldn't mind using this normally, but the color was just way off. Maybe in the winter time when I lose my tan and everything, but I still feel like this is so much lighter than what I would normally use. Again, I'll hold on to it till winter time and see how that turns out. But yeah, the product itself isn't horrible or anything. You can smell the SPF, and again, it does have that white cast to it, but otherwise, you know, the way it feels on the skin, it is very comfortable. I can move around. I don't see it settling into any lines or anything like that, and I hadn't noticed that earlier when I used it. I've been more into using powder foundations though, because it is the summertime, and there's one I'm going to be doing a video on pretty soon. So I don't know that I would use this in the summertime, because being out and about, like just using it around the house, when I would start to sweat, I would feel like things would start to move around. So, and again, valued at $39.50, basically 40 bucks. I feel like that's way too expensive, because there are tinted moisturizers, BB creams, CC creams, things very similar to this at the drugstore, much cheaper. So I would pass on that one. I would pass. It didn't wow me. It didn't amaze me. So I would pass on that one. The Suva Beauty Liquid Chrome Illuminating Drops in the color Trust Fund, valued at $26. So these are called the Chrome Illuminating Drops, which sat on my face. Like, those are like, woo. And mind you, I toned this down a lot from when I first put it on, and I tapped it out with my fingers. Well, as you'll see somewhere, I tapped it out with my fingers, and then I just used whatever excess was left on my fingers to do the other side, just to see how far I could get that to go. And it gave it just a nice, more softer, subtle glow. So depending on how heavy you use it and apply it, or how light you use it and apply it, it doesn't pick up on any texture. It's liquid, but it does pick up the light, and it shines, baby. So again, whether you're going in with just some leftover excess and patting it out, or you go with it a little heavier, and that was just like 2 little tap drops. Very surprised with this. The color is beautiful. It is just like this, like very soft, luminescent champagne color. This would be beautiful as a body highlighter too, to kind of hit your collarbones and your shoulders and stuff, depending on what you're wearing. I like this a lot, but for 26 bucks, I wish it wasn't so expensive, because I would totally recommend anyone to get this. I'm not usually into liquid ones, but these are beautiful. But $26 just seems like a lot when you can get stuff at the drugstore. So for that alone, I'm gonna have to say pass. But the product itself, if you can afford it, go for it. But the product itself is very beautiful and worked very, very well. I ended up loving it. And then last but not least is the Purlisse Blue Lotus Essential Daily Moisturizer with SPF 30, valued at $45. I like this. I don't know why it's so expensive. Like, the It Cosmetics was cheaper than this. Hello. And It Cosmetics is actually pretty pricey. The smell is like hardly noticeable at all. Like, you just don't really notice anything. There's no white cast to it at all. Like, it's funny because it comes out white, but the minute you massage it in, it disappears. It freaking disappears. I'm not used to that with SPF lotions. Like, the smell is barely noticeable. It just kind of reminds me more of the beach than strong SPF. It's a light scent. It smells pretty good. It just disappears. There's no white cast to it, which I think it actually says protects and moisturizes, absorbs easily with no white tint, and preps skin for makeup. Says it's for normal, dry, and even sensitive skin. It feels so good. It absorbs really well into the skin. There is a slight residue that sticks, but it's not overly greasy or oily. I can still snap my fingers and everything. So I do love that. It just give it a few minutes and it will fully absorb into the skin, and then you can go ahead and do your makeup or whatever, and it'll sit beautifully under. There's no white cast. There's no flashback when using flash photography or anything. It smells fine, because usually SPF smells really bother me. But for $45, like, what are they thinking? It's an SPF. And I'm sorry, but everybody knows that SPF is in abundance. You can go everywhere and anywhere and get an SPF, even one that won't have flashback or white cast to it. Drugstores have them. Everyone has them. But as much as I like this, I'll probably use it up. I will never purchase it again. Never. That's not going to happen. At $45 for some SPF, not going to happen. So that is it. That brings us to the end of all the products that were in this box. If you have any further questions about any of the products, please feel free to leave them down below. I'll be more than happy to answer them for you. If you haven't already, please comment, rate, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. You all have an amazing rest of the weekend wherever you are, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.